Hello everyone and welcome to the Chef's Table series. My name is Carol O'Connor, co-host of this engaging instructional cooking show. Today on the show we have an old friend. His name is Vinny Marino. Vinny Marino owns the Brickhouse+Cafe located in Denham. This neighborhood restaurant is amazing. Number of dishes that has been handed down from generation to generation. One of these dishes is called Pasta Nicole that Vinny had made for his niece. As you can see, the dish is filled with prosciutto, grilled chicken, spinach, pine nuts, and especially multi-grain pasta, but the most important part, garlic. Later on in the show, we'll have a wine pairing conducted by Bill Caruso of Blanche's Wines and Spirits, a beer pairing by Rob Costa of Massachusetts Beverage Alliance, and later on in the show, I will be sitting down with Vin Marino at his restaurant to discuss his recipes as well as his homemade pasta. So let's go over to Joe and Vinny in the kitchen.
Well, I would like to welcome you to this week's Chef's Table series. The Chef's Table series was created to be instructional, and we do bring a visiting chef in each week. And I'm glad to say that we have somebody that has been with us before, and this is an old friend, Chef Vinny Marino. He's owned many restaurants over the years, and he has a great restaurant, which is actually my favorite restaurant, the Brickhouse+Cafe in Denham. So thanks for coming, Vinny.
You're welcome, Joe. That's why they call you Mr. Needy. When you need something, I'm there for you, Joe.
Thank you very much.
I'm there for you.
Yeah.
You're my man.
Thank you. You know, in all seriousness, the Chef's Table series has evolved into the Chef's Table Foundation, and the foundation has been created so that we can raise money to help young adults, indigent, homeless young people that may have a desire to go to culinary school. So as the show progresses and as we raise money, we hope to support people in your community and give somebody a chance to get a leg up, get the education, because cooking is really a passion, wouldn't you say, Vinny?
Yeah. If you don't love it, you're not going to do a good job.
Right.
You've got to love it, and I do love it.
I know you do.
And that's why I do a fairly good job at it.
Yeah.
And I never had any technical training, which I would love to.
Yeah.
If I had a dream come true, it would be
Right.
to go to Italy and take some cooking lessons.
Right. Or you could hang around with Mr. Needy me, and I'll
Yeah.
give you a few technical tips. How's
Oh,
that?
I'm sure that would be nice.
No,
that would be nice.
You know, it's funny. About half the chefs we have on that have great reputations have not been to culinary school. But it's a creative process, so they take that passion. Yeah, you need to work under some pretty good chefs, but it's really about your passion, that creative process. And, you know, I know you create all your own recipes.
I do, and you know, I always relate almost everything I do in my life to boxing, because I was a boxer at one time.
Right.
And somehow I find a way to relate it. And the way I would relate this is that you can never learn enough in boxing. When I ran my gym down in Rosendale, the Southside Gym, we had a saying as you went down the stairs: if you didn't learn anything today, you wasted the day. Well, cooking is the same thing. I can go to a restaurant and eat a meal, and I can come back and I can duplicate it. And if people say, well, how do you do that? The answer is I don't know. I have no idea, but I can.
Right.
And I do.
Right.
And you know what? When you say it's my passion, I can't even sleep at night. I work out at the end of the day at 11 o'clock at night, punch the bag and do this and that.
Yeah.
Go to sleep for about an hour and a half, and the rest of the night I lay there thinking about recipes, whether I want to or not.
Well, that's more than a passion, Vinny. That's madness.
Yeah, I know.
But that's okay.
Okay.
Because, you know, your restaurant is always packed.
Yeah.
And even I, Mr.
Yeah.
Needy,
Yeah.
has to call to be sure there's a table for me.
I know it, and somehow or another, I got to get a table for Mr. Needy. Sometimes I have to make a table for Mr. Needy.
And that's what
Yeah.
we like.
Okay.
That's what we like. You've got a great recipe, and one thing we always talk about, because it is instructional, you've heard this on every show, you're going to hear it again, mise en place. It means everything in its place, so that when you start putting this symphony together, you want all your violins, your trombones, and everything in its place. It's the same here. So why don't we just talk quickly, Vinny, about what do you have? You got quite a few different ingredients that go into this dish.
Yeah.
So here you have,
extra virgin olive
oil.
EVOO.
right,
A little garlic.
sliced garlic,
Yeah. Some Bermuda onion.
Bermuda onion,
shallots.
shallot, yeah.
Some. What is that?
That's prosciutto di Parma.
Oh, okay. Thank
Very
you.
good. Yeah,
Spinach
yeah,
and some pine nuts.
right. These are not
Pig
toasted.
milk. Yeah. They are toasted.
Oh, they are?
Oh yeah, they're toasted.
Okay.
Look, you'll see the brown. on
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
And I've got some chicken that I've already
Sauteed.
grilled. Yeah, I grilled this.
Grilled it, yeah.
Because we didn't have a grill here, so I grilled it before we came. And
Good,
I
good.
got some sun-dried tomatoes here.
Right,
I got chopped tomatoes there. And I
right,
got some salt and pepper.
yeah,
And I got a little chicken stock here that
Right.
we make at the restaurant. You know, if I need it for
right.
my stock.
So you make your own stocks?
We do, yeah.
Yeah, which is great.
We make, you know, for the most part, we make almost everything. you know.
Right, yeah. Yeah, let's talk for a minute before we start the cooking process. You know, before I get into it, I was just going to say, mise en place, everything in its place. We're discussing putting this dish together, how long this cooking segment should be. We said half an hour. He said it'll take me 5 minutes. Why? Because he has everything all set, ready to go. All right? So if you're the home cook and you would like to try this recipe, you say, oh my God, all these ingredients. A lot of this stuff you can prepare a day or two before.
That's
Just
right.
wrap it well, refrigerate it, and then when you're ready to cook and really wow your family with a great meal, it won't take you long at all.
Not at all. And it's almost foolproof, Joe, because the way you do it, as you said, everything is in place. So you're just going to go from left to right, and you know
Yeah.
this is the ingredient that goes in next.
Right.
And if you know at home, do the same thing.
Right.
It's simple. And in the restaurant, we got the same thing. And everything at our restaurant is cooked to order, so it's very time consuming. No microwaves or nothing like that.
Wow.
But everything is set up, so it's
Right.
bam, boom, boom. you know.
Right, which is great to
Yeah.
hear. And to me, that makes a difference. If you're looking for a restaurant, you know, if it's cooked to order, you know you're getting the freshest product. But one question I do want to ask you is, Rumor Control has it that you are making fresh pasta now.
Yeah, I just bought a big machine from Italy.
Wow.
And it's absolutely incredible because I've made pasta, you know, before, and it's so time consuming.
Right.
But with this machine, it cuts the time, but it's still very time
Oh,
consuming.
sure.
We're doing, you know, rigatoni, we're doing linguine, we're doing orchietti, which is really
Right.
great. But we got. I got about 12, a dozen different dyes,
Which is
and
great.
Which we're all, you know, made of brass.
Yeah.
We put them on and we mix it, you know,
Right.
the semolina,
Yeah.
the flour, and all the other stuff, all our secret ingredients.
Yeah, right.
We make spinach pasta, we make beet pasta, we make
Wow.
carrot pasta. So I'm still experimenting with some of them,
Right,
you know what I mean?
which is great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Vinny's parents came from Sicily. But, you know, Vinny has not been to Sicily. So I told him, Mr. Needy, if he wants somebody to travel with, if he bought my ticket, I'd go with him. But the ticket hasn't arrived yet. So, but anyways, that's great.
You know what?
it's
If
not
if you were of a different gender, I might even think about it.
Oh, okay. Well,
Okay.
I can't help you there, Vinny.
Okay.
You know, Vinny also likes to cook healthy type foods. So the pasta that you're making,
Right.
it's a whole grain pasta,
Right.
which is great. You're not getting a crazy taste. Generally, it tastes the same as a regular white floured pasta.
You wouldn't know the difference.
Right,
You know, I
right.
mean, The only time you know the
Right.
difference is when we tell you.
Right.
If we didn't tell you, you would never know.
So in any event, the recipe will be online, and you can rewatch the show on the Chef's Table Series website. And the name of that website is the Chef's Table Series.tv, and that's where the foundation information is. So please, if you want to do this, you want to bring your laptop into the kitchen, you can print out your recipe and cook with Vinny.
Okay.
Okay?
Sounds good.
All right. Now, Vinny, what are we starting with here?
Well, first of all, the dish is called Pasta Nicole,
Yeah.
and it's named after my niece. And what happened is she said one time, Uncle Vinny, make me something different. And I said, okay. And I just boom, 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 I started
Right.
throwing this in, throwing that in. And when we finished, it was great. And
Yeah.
it's been on the menu ever since.
Right.
So we're going to start with a little EVOO.
Okay.
Let's make sure our pan is hot.
Yeah. And don't be afraid to get that pan nice and hot. I know a lot of home cooks are afraid, but in a professional kitchen, they're moving. Those pans are really scorching hot.
Yeah.
And what they're trying to do also is to create a little caramelization if they're doing meats or even vegetables.
Exactly. The only thing that you really have to watch is, especially when you're using garlic,
Right.
is that if you put the garlic in and the oil is too hot, you're going to immediately have to put white wine or some chicken stock
Right.
in it to stop it.
Right.
So right now,
Yeah.
not ever having used this or anything, I don't know how hot it is. I can tell it's a little bit hot because I can smell the oil.
Right.
So I'm going to start with a little fresh garlic.
Oh yeah, it's simmering. Another
Yeah.
thing, when you're using fresh garlic, light golden brown is acceptable.
Right.
If you go to a darker brown, forget it. That
Throw it out.
throw it out,
Yeah,
start the
start
dish
all over.
again.
Because you know what? You're wasting your time.
Right, it gets very bitter and it will ruin the whole dish.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
And there's no way to fix it.
No,
So
there isn't.
you
You're
got to
right.
start all over.
And it's
so you got to be very
the
careful.
smell is coming up. It's
Yeah.
fabulous with
Yeah.
the EVO. I love the smell of EVOO,
Yeah.
but with that garlic,
Yeah.
it's great.
So I'm just keeping my eye on it, Joe, as you can see.
Yeah.
Because I've never worked with this particular
Yeah.
stove before, so I
Yeah.
want to
Right.
watch and be very careful.
Right.
But
Yeah, we are using what they call induction burners, and they're very popular in Europe. But if you go into a breakfast buffet line in a large hotel or a restaurant, you will be seeing flameless burners
Yeah.
like this.
right. I'm going to add the shallots now.
Wow.
As you can see, the garlic is starting to,
Will
yeah.
get a little
Yeah.
color.
Yeah.
Excellent.
As well as, you know, you can smell it.
Right. Now, do you want to blanch that pasta yet, or do you want to
No,
wait?
not yet. I'm going to
Okay.
wait a minute. I'm gonna add the
Prosciutto?
yeah.
Okay. Now again, keep your eye on that garlic because you don't want it to turn brown. It will really ruin your dish.
Yeah, and the second it starts turning is the second that you've got to put that white wine or the chicken stock to stop it
Right.
from burning. And if your pan is too hot, immediately, whether it's, in other words, I'm not putting it in yet.
Yeah.
But if that was too hot, I'd have to put it in right away. You can't wait. Not 5 seconds. You ruin your dish. You got to start everything all
And
over.
when you're using a saute, if you're finding your pan is a little too hot, just take it off the burner for a minute and set it aside.
Yeah.
And let it come back down to a good cooking temperature. And this is something you learn as you go along.
Well, you know what, Joe? This is working out fine, really.
Right.
Yeah, this is coming along good.
Yeah.
You can smell all the flavors.
Oh, absolutely. One thing I want to mention, when you're cooking, always think ahead. You have your mise en place. Now, is salt necessary? Maybe not, because you have that De Parma prosciutto,
Yeah.
which is a salty ham, a dry
Absolutely.
cured ham. So
Yeah.
keep that in mind
Yeah.
as you go along. Okay, so what's next? You're
I'm
gonna
going to go with the spinach.
sweet.
And you know what? So far it's working out perfect because
Yeah.
I don't need to shock it and stop the
Right.
it from burning.
Great.
I'm going to put in the spinach now.
Oh, I can't wait to taste this dish.
Oh, yeah,
I gotta
this is
tell
good.
you, the flavors, the aromas, everything is coming together here.
You know, Joe, they got television. They should have smell-o-vision.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, 'cause then-
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, this is good. It's gonna be a good dish.
Right. Now, on this spinach, is this just getting to the wilt stage, or do you really cook it down?
It's just the wilt, really.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just
good.
the wilt.
Yeah.
Now, right here.
Okay. Do you want your pine
Sure,
nuts?
we're gonna do the pine nuts now. The pine nuts are already toasted.
So if you have an allergy, leave out the pine nuts.
Oh yeah,
It's that
absolutely.
simple.
Yeah, it's that easy. Yeah.
Okay. Now, he has sun-dried tomatoes as well. Do you do those, or do you do the fresh
I
tomato?
do them both.
At
I
the
do
same
them-
time?
Yeah, I'm gonna do one after another.
Excellent.
But you gotta be, you don't wanna go crazy with the sun-dried.
Right.
Because they're a little bit too spicy.
Yeah.
And it'll overtake, you know, the dish. You don't want that at all.
Right.
You know.
You know, when you get into that dried vegetable like that, it's not so much that they're spicy, but the flavor becomes very intense.
Yeah.
And as I always say, whatever you're using for an ingredient, you don't want to make one ingredient the dish. You want that merge of flavors. You want to just bring that really to a great flavor.
Yeah. You know, that's exactly right, because, you know, about a week ago when I was trying to perfect my bolognese, which I got a pretty good bolognese, but you know what? We had overspiced it. And the minute I took a taste of that, I knew from the smell
Yeah.
that right away it was overspiced with that particular spice.
Yeah.
So now we just cut it down and
Right.
we got it right where we want it. You know?
Right.
Right where we want it.
Yeah, and I want to say that, as Vinny just shared with you, you know, he was developing a new bolognese recipe, and as soon as he got that together, he could tell that there was one ingredient that was just too heavy. And that's what cooking is about.
Yeah.
Trial
But, you know,
and error.
When you bring it to yourself and you can smell
Yeah.
a particular ingredient,
Yeah.
you know that's wrong. That's not right.
Right.
That's where you got to cut down. That's exactly what we did, and we nailed it. You know,
Yeah.
we got it. It's a great bolognese. It's 25% veal, 25% pork, 50% beef. We get the red wine, celery, and tomatoes. Great, and we're doing it with homemade pasta. You know, so it's really coming out good.
Right. So,
Yeah.
fresh tomatoes
Yeah,
now?
fresh tomatoes, yeah. You know, and I am gonna stay away from the salt.
Yeah.
We may do a little pepper, but we're gonna stay away from the salt.
Right. Yeah, so keep that in mind. You know, when it comes to your salt, you can always finish the dish with salt. And I've been talking recently on shows about types of salt. I prefer kosher salt. And there's one brand that I'm not going to mention I prefer more than the other. And I'll tell you one thing about kosher salt versus table salt. And the home cook generally uses table salt. Kosher salt is a much larger crystal, as is sea salt. Okay, if you took a pound of kosher salt and a pound of table salt, the sodium content would be the same. But if you measured by volume, a half cup of kosher salt or sea salt and a half cup of table salt, there'd be less sodium. Why? Because of the larger crystals. And also in cooking, the larger crystal is much easier to handle than that fine-grained table salt.
Okay, I'm gonna shock the
Okay.
pasta right now.
Now, one thing Chef did here was he pre-cooked the pasta, you know, just prior to al dente. And when you're doing a lot of pasta dishes in a restaurant or even at home, it's a great technique, because then, you know, as you're trying to bring your whole dish together, what you can do is cut down a lot of your service time. Do you want me to put some more pasta in there, Chef?
No, I think that might be enough. We'll see. I'm gonna try it, but you know what I wanted to also add? I need a little bit more liquid. So I'm gonna add this chicken stock.
Sure.
I wanted them to know
Yeah.
what we're doing with it. They wonder, you know, what's going on. So
Right.
that's chicken stock. And now, if we need any more juice,
Yeah.
we're gonna use the water from the pasta after we got the pasta because
Right.
there's starch in it.
And it'll help thicken your
It's gonna help
sauce.
us thicken my sauce, right?
Chef, I hate to disagree. For all us hungry people, I think we're going to need a little more pasta.
Okay,
Is that okay?
Fine. Not a problem, because we got plenty of it.
Yeah. Just lay it in there, buddy.
You want to put it all in there?
Sure, Mr. Needy needs it.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And by the way, you know, Chef Vinny, he doesn't realize I'm the host. Usually, I don't allow people to take liberties of calling me Mr. Needy, but with Vinny, it's a different story.
He's shaking me down. Okie dokie.
Okay. I gotta tell you, this dish smells absolutely fabulous. And really, it's not, you know, other than, you know, prosciutto di Parma, which is expensive, but, you know, the bottom line is this. It's not an expensive dish. You just want enough prosciutto to help flavor and season your dish.
See how that cloudy that is? That's all the starch.
Right.
That if we need it.
Right.
you
Now,
know.
Chef Vinny just told you, you know, you don't have to drain this completely because you want some of this water that the pasta was cooked in to help make the sauce, okay? So keep that in mind.
So we're gonna bring this up.
Okay, there you go. Oh boy, this looks so good.
And this is a big seller. And like I say, you know, it's the whole grain pasta with it, you know.
Right.
Okie dokie.
Can we split this into 2 plates, Chef?
Absolutely. Yep.
This is absolutely, you've got to try this dish. And don't be afraid to try the whole grain pasta. I guarantee you, you will not know the difference between what you're used to.
There's a couple of brand names out there that are very well known.
Yeah,
Uh,
right. I know one that I really like, and yeah, the DiCecco.
yeah, and the Barilla Plus
Oh,
in the
really?
yellow box.
Yeah.
The Barilla Plus, not the blue.
Oh, yeah.
You'll find. I gotta tell you, I defy anyone to tell me the difference.
Wow.
Really, it's that good. There you go, buddy.
Excellent. We'll just spruce this plate up a little bit. Spruce this spoon here. Okay. We just want to get a good shot of this.
We might as well fill both plates.
Yeah, absolutely.
It isn't going nowhere.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing. This pan's about 15, 20 pounds.
I know it, yeah.
Yeah.
These induction pans have a double layer of metal, and induction cooking is really magnet, and as soon as that pan hits it, it heats it, and it's unbelievable how quickly it works. So, well, this has been a great demonstration, and we really love these dishes, and I gotta tell you, it's just fabulous, and I wish you were here, folks, just for the aroma. Now, again, I want you to know that you can get this recipe by going to the Chef's Table Series.TV website, which is the Chef Table Foundation website. All right, as well as you will see a restaurant review of all the restaurants that appear on the show, and the restaurant interview, which Carol O'Connor, the co-host, will be doing with you.
Okay.
And then our writer will go to the restaurant, but we also go in and shoot your restaurant, so to speak.
So to speak.
We don't shoot, we just go in and take some footage.
I think Carol was here the day Phantom Gourmet come
Yeah,
on.
matter of fact, I was there,
Oh,
but
okay.
you get on the film, Carol get on the film, and I don't know, did you wipe me out or what? I didn't come on, I watched it a number of times, and for some reason, did you tell the guy not to?
That's when we did the commercial, Joe.
Right,
Yeah,
right, oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
I
When you
guess
snooze, you lose.
I was,
all right?
I must have been snoozing,
Yeah.
but this has been a great show, and I hope you've learned something here, you know, starting even with the mise en place, and it really makes your cooking experience far more rewarding than all of a sudden say, gee, did I miss an ingredient? Oh no, that didn't come out right. Get everything ready. And then it just makes your whole production flow. And you're bringing that, especially if you have more than one course.
Oh, absolutely.
Because if you're trying to get everything out on the table at once, you want to be able to have everything ready and in its place.
That's why you got to be organized.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And you know,
Although if you ever looked at my desk, you'd never believe it.
right, well, you're a very organized guy. But this was great.
When it comes to
Vinny.
cooking, I am. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And I love your restaurant, and you know, Carol and I really appreciate you coming on.
Okay.
Okay, so
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you,
It was
Vinny.
a pleasure being here.
Vinny is going to Florida, so we got him just before he went down, and
Yeah, the next time you see me, I'll be all tanned up.
tanned up good. Yeah, Vinny swims laps, okay, and not that I'm giving away secrets, but Vinny is, I prefer to say, a mature man. He's well into his 70s. He can get down to Florida. He'll swim 2 miles along the beach,
Yeah.
nonstop. I mean, he's incredible. He's really an inspiration. But I don't aspire to swimming, though, for
okay.
2 miles.
All right.
All right. Well,
Everyone to their own.
yeah, that's it. So I want to thank you, and just remember, this cooking and this instructional show is all about you. So keep the foundation in mind. Help us to help those in need, and we'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you for watching.
Hi everybody, I'm Rob Costa with this week's craft beer pairing. Special treat today, I'm going to highlight the Spencer Abbey's Trappist Ale. A little bit of history behind that. There are only about 10 Trappist breweries in the world. A Trappist brewery is a beer or a brewery that is completely brewed either by or under the supervision of monks. So this is kind of a huge deal. There are not many in the world, like I just said. And awesomely enough, that this particular beer, the Spencer, is brewed in Spencer, Mass, under the supervision of the monks at the St. Joseph Abbey. What they did here, they're using a beer style that you typically don't see in a Trappist. You would actually more often see something along the lines of a triple, a double, a quad, or a Belgian Strong Golden. What this beer is called a Patters beer, which is actually a table beer that the monks would actually consume themselves, rather than, you know, package it and sell it like they would with a triple, a double, or a quad, or a Belgian Strong Golden, or something like that. So why you don't see this is because they call Father's beer. Pater's beer is Father's beer. They would just consume it themselves for their enjoyment. And I decided that this would be a great pairing with the Pasta Nicole because it is an exceptionally light ale. It has this great yeast ester note that comes out with a lot of lemon, a little bit of clove, some fennel, things like that. It's golden. It's beautifully light. It's lightly spiced, like you'd imagine most Belgian beers would be. With the Pasta Nicole having shallots and minced garlic and some of those like spicier flavors, I think it works perfectly well with the balance of yeast spiciness that you get from this particular ale. You also get a great little caramely bread note that can cut through some of the stronger flavors that you might get as well. But since it is such a light dish, you don't want to overpower anything too much. It'll actually come in with its kind of tight carbonation. I don't know if you can tell on camera, but it's pretty tight, it's pretty effervescent, so it's going to be able to take some of those more rich flavors that you might get from it. I mean, especially with the pasta dish, it is going to be richer. It'll actually lift up some of those flavors, and then you'll be able to kind of cleanse your tongue off a bit, giving you more access to a lot of the flavors from not only the beer but the dish itself. every time that you pair it. When you take a bite, you take a sip. That's what you always do. That way you're able to enjoy both the beer and the wonderful food at the same time. I can't recommend this beer highly enough for most light dishes, to be honest. It's just a real treat. It's a real pleasure to be able to have Trappist beer homegrown in America. And that's what I've chosen for this dish. And like I said, a lot of other light dishes. Please go out and find it if you can and enjoy it with great food. I'm Rob Costa with Massachusetts Beverage Alliance, and this is your craft beer pairing for the week.
Hi, my name is Bill Caruso from Blanchard's Wine and Spirits, here today to match Pasta Nicole with two different wines. First, we have the Clos du Bois North Coast Chardonnay, vintage 2012. Chardonnay, as you know, comes in many different varieties nowadays. This is the traditional California oaky toasty Chardonnay. The fruit profile goes from apples to pears to a little bit of citrus, and then you have some nice toasty, spicy oak there as well. Let's give this a try. Very nicely balanced wine. The first sip usually will help cleanse the palate of all that wonderful food you've been eating, so excellent. Will go particularly well with the grilled chicken. Second wine, our red wine, is a Chianti Classico from Rufino called Asiano, vintage 2011. It's a beautiful claret color in the glass. And there you have the Sangiovese grape showing its great red fruit. This wine also spends some time in oak, so again you have a little toasty, spicy thing going on there. I thought this would work particularly well with the sun-dried tomato part of the recipe. Maybe a little Morello cherry on the palate, and perfectly balanced. You can see in the glass itself that this is a medium-bodied wine. This supports and complements the food. And second sip. Delicious. In any case, from Bill Caruso and Blanchard's Wine and Spirits, cheers.
Hi folks, Steve LeCount, chef owner of Chiara Bistro in Westwood, coming at you with this week's Chef's Tip. This week I'd like to talk a little bit about knife safety and cutting safety, and that's why I have a carrot and a parsnip in front of me. Basically, I'm going to peel this really quickly and then show you a few different cuts and how you can do them in a safe manner. And the reason I picked both of these vegetables is because of their shape. And most home cooks who don't have professional knife skills, when they do cut their finger, it's usually slicing a round vegetable of some sort, like a carrot or a parsnip, which makes sense. I mean, they roll around on the cutting board, and next thing you know, your knife is not on the carrot, it's on your finger. So we'll just put that aside a little bit. I'm using a typical French knife here for this. Important to have a very sharp knife when you're doing a firm vegetable like that. So I want to cut the ends off of these, and then we'll show you a few different cuts And I'm going to start with, now, to eliminate most of the danger, one of the best things you can do is just take a little slice off of that. Now you've got a flat surface to rest that on. So if you want carrot wheels for something, you know, you've got a little bit of leverage there instead of that thing rolling around on you. If I want to cut carrot sticks, I still have that leverage because it's flat, and I can do things like that and then just pile them on top of each other and cut my carrot sticks. Let's say I want to finely dice that for some reason. I'm going to do the same thing. Take a little piece off. Let that flat side. I'm just going to cut these thinner now. And then stack a couple of them together. And notice the motion. I'm not cutting down like this, which I see a lot of home cooks doing. It's actually a rocking motion. I'm starting at the front part of this knife and I'm pushing forward like that. Okay? As I'm doing, I'm tucking these 4 fingers, bending them so my knuckles are resting against the blade of that knife. And that's what's keeping me from cutting the tips of my left fingers off. So once I have them finely diced like that, I just turn that sideways, and now I'll go a little bit faster, and you can still see that rocking motion. Again, I'm not doing this. I'm pushing forward, and then I'm moving the knife sideways and doing it again. Sideways, doing it again. And it's that easy to dice at things that small. And let me just get these shavings out of the way. And I'm going to show you a bias cut next. Again, we had the carrot sticks, a couple of rounds, the fine dice, and I'll take this parsnip. We'll do a bias cut. So I'm going to notice I'm just putting that. I'm using that tip of that knife right there. You should be able to see that pretty well. And I'm just pushing down and then pushing down, and that's my nice flat surface. And I'm going to angle cut this, okay, into pieces like that. A nice bias cut. This looks nice in stews and, you know, maybe with a roast chicken or something like that. But again, using that same, I just have to pick the knife up a little higher because of the height of the parsnip itself, but I'm still using that same rocking motion all the way through to the end of this. So there you go. Nice, lots of shapes, all of it done very quickly, but most importantly, very safely, and all my fingers are intact. Steve LeCount with this week's Chef's Tip of the Week.
Due to popular demand, we are going to re-air one of our most popular Chef's Tips of the Week segments.
Hi folks, Steve LeCount, chef owner of Chiara Bistro in Westwood, coming at you this week with this week's Chef's Tip of the Week. This week I wanted to talk about a piece of equipment that I find totally invaluable at the restaurant. For relatively short money, you can buy one of these. They come in smaller sizes as well for the home use, but it's called a food mill. And the reason we love it so much is we have a signature dish that's a potato gnocchi on there. And these food mills come with, usually with a set of 3 different dies. This is the largest one. And then there's a little spring-loaded blade here. So when you put that die in, you want that curved side facing up, and then you just place the blade into the hole in the center, and this is why the spring is there. You push down on this and hook it onto these little hooks, and from there it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. What I love about this is, again, we make our potato gnocchi with them. This is what we pass our potatoes through, but there are many, many uses for this. You can do it for butternut squash, cooked pumpkin, anything that carrots, whatever you like to have make a puree out of. You could put a finer die in there with smaller holes if you want that puree to be totally smooth. But today I'm going to show you mashed potatoes because people often ask, you know, how do you get those potatoes so smooth? Mine always have lumps in them. And I've got some cooked right behind me. And when we make mashed potatoes, we like to use Idaho potatoes because they naturally have a less of a water content. And you see my potatoes have no water in here right now. I did boil these, but I also, after I drain them, I put them back in the pot, put the burner on low, and let most of the water evaporate out of those, which is kind of important to getting nice fluffy smooth potatoes. So I'm going to scoop those into this food mill. And this food mill comes with a little hook here. You just hook that onto the pot like that. And from there you just grab this handle and you just crank the handle, and it passes, it basically mills the food through the holes in the die. And it's really that easy. Now behind me I've also heated up a little bit of light cream and whole butter that I've put into the light cream, and just scrape the excess off there. Okay, so that's what it comes out looking like. Not a lump in this. So I'm going to season those a little bit, salt and pepper. My butter is already in the cream. I'm just going to add a little as I need it. And then just all I have to do from there is stir. Now, today we all have food processors. It's one of the worst things you can ever try to make mashed potatoes with, and I'll tell you why. Potatoes have natural gluten in them. It's just like flour. If you overwork it, that gluten, it ends up the gluten is just what forms like elasticity in bread doughs, and potatoes have quite a bit of natural gluten in there. So the more you move the potatoes around, the more of that gluten you're activating, and you're going to end up with a gummy, stretchy kind of potato. So if you ever try to do it in a food processor for mashed potatoes, I guarantee you they're going to come out like glue. Where these are nice and fluffy, they haven't got a lump in them, smooth as silk. And I'm going to go eat these right now. So, Steve LeCount from Chiara Bistro in Westwood with this week's Chef's Tip of the Week. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Alex Tillotson, and I am the culinary demo specialist at Whole Foods Market in Dedham, and I'm here to show you our quick, healthy tip of the week. So this first snack is a great item that you can take to work or send the kids off to school with. So you've all heard of ants on a log. This is a little spin on that, and I'm calling it ladybugs on a log. So basically, you start with some celery sticks, and then instead of the classic peanut butter that you might use to make ants on a log, we are going to use sunflower butter. So this is a wonderful product that you can use instead of peanut butter if any of your kids or family members have a peanut or nut allergy. This is just sunflower seeds, so it's great for, you know, people of all ages with all types of allergen concerns. So I'm just spreading a little bit of sun butter onto each of our celery sticks, and then so that we get the red color from our ladybugs instead of the brown and black that we would use for ants, I'm going to use some dried cranberries. And all we have to do is just top these little logs with a few dried cranberries. They're nice and sweet and a little bit tart, and they give you that great red color like a ladybug. So you just want to put them right in the top, and then you can take these, pack them into a little container, and just take them right on the go. So there you have it, our ladybugs on a log for our healthy tip of the week.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the restaurant interview of the Chef's Table Series Cooking Show. Today I am at the Brickhouse+Cafe located at 107 Bridge Street in Dedham. I am here with chef owner Vinny Marino, and we're going to talk about the transformation of his restaurant, talk about his signature dishes. He's not only into food, but he's also into healthy food and staying fit. So Vinny, thanks for being on the segment with me today.
You're welcome.
So I've noticed, as you know, you've been here for how many years now, the Brickhouse+Cafe?
As the Brickhouse, it's
Yep.
been 7 years.
Yep. And it's changed a lot. You kind of added on to it,
Right,
I see.
yeah. We added on from the bar over to here. This used to, a year ago, this was a garden.
Right, I remember that. Now, why did you expand?
Well,
What was
the
the need?
reason I expanded is because you couldn't get in. I have people who would come all the time, and they couldn't get in. They were friends of mine, and I just felt I had to do something about it. I have this friend from the Erie pub. Every Friday night he would come in, open the door, look in and say, bye-bye, bye-bye. He couldn't get in. So then we went and we did the expansion, and then after we do the expansion, I called him, I said, we got an expansion, come on over. He comes in, opens the door, bye-bye. I can't get in. So now I save him a table.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why do you think why are you so popular? Like, what is it about the Brickhouse+Cafe?
I really don't know the answer. I had a place in Rosendale years ago called the Rosendale Pub, and the other bars from the area used to come over there to see what I was doing on a Friday night. You'd come in there and they'd say, what are you doing? And I say, damned if I know. I don't know. I mean, I'll tell you, we're passionate about our food. There's a lot of people are, but I got to tell you, I drink it, think it. I don't sleep at night.
I know
I
you-
do recipes constantly. Whenever I travel, I see something and I can tweak it and I come up with it.
Yeah. Where do many of your recipes come from? I know
Well,
they come from you, but
No, the most of the bulk of them are from my mother.
Yeah.
My mother was a very good cook, but very simple, Sicilian, red tomato sauce, and very simple. And all of her recipes are very easy,
Right.
very simple, but good, fresh, quality food.
and Vinny, I know you're into your health, like
Yeah.
I am. We both work
Right.
out. You're into boxing, and you were a former boxer,
Right.
Right? And you still keep that up?
Well, actually, I just got in the ring about 3 or 4 weeks ago
You did?
with a friend of mine, and I got to tell you, I don't really think it's a wise move for 77-year-old guys to make comebacks. But in this particular instance, I got a little lucky. I caught
Yeah?
him with a real hard left hook in the second round, and goodbye.
So what is your fitness regimen?
Well, my thing is that as I'm older, I exercise more frequently, but less. I do 45 minutes of calisthenics and stretches in the morning. I do a mile during the day.
Yeah.
I swim a half an hour every afternoon.
Wow.
I come in here at night and then I walk another mile. And when I go home, I will punch the heavy bag and lift weights every other day. I lift the weights, but I punch
Yeah.
the heavy bag every night. So I got my little Fitbit.
Yeah, you were
and
telling me about that.
Yeah, and I do my 10,000 plus every day.
That's great.
Yeah.
Now, because you're fit, does that reflect on your menu?
Oh yeah, because I'm a health nut. I started a fast food, health food restaurant chain in the middle 70s, when it was way before the curve.
Yep.
And in 5 years, we were in Dallas, Houston, Austin, Lauderdale, Delray. We had 24 stores
Oh my
in the mid
goodness.
70s, way before the curve. So I still keep up with it. Even on my menu, I have some dishes that have a heart on it, and it'll tell you the calories
Yep.
and how good they are. And it's one of the first things that I do. How can I make it, every dish
Yep.
that I make, healthier?
Healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do a lot of multi-grain pastas.
I do.
Right. And now tell me about the dish in front of us. You said this is a new one?
Yeah, well, this is a
Special?
new one. It's called a stack of Sicily.
A stack of Sicily.
On the menu, we just say, don't be embarrassed, just ask. But what it is eggplant, tomato, buffalo mozzarella, layered with some basil on top, and a little balsamic vinegar. It's a very aged, as you can see how thick it is.
Right.
A balsamic vinegar, it's like almost sweet.
Yeah.
But it's delicious.
It looks
it's
it.
good. Yeah.
Can't wait to eat it. As you know, I'm a vegetarian, so
I do. That's why I
definitely-
got it for you. because
Thank you.
Yeah.
So Vinny, you were saying how you don't know why people come here, repeat customers. Do you think it's because of your food, but also you're always here every night, correct?
Well, I'm here every night. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's a combination of both. You know, I love to walk around and talk to people.
Right, you do.
And I make it a point to try to talk to everybody. And I have the nicest customers, the nicest clientele. You know, over the years, as you know, I've had many restaurants, and this is my 40th restaurant.
40th?
Yeah, 40th. My last one,
amazing. Your
small
last one?
last one. But I got to tell you, in all honesty, I don't know, maybe it's my memory or what, but it's the best one.
Oh.
It's the people that I got here are just the best. You could go to any table, any night, and talk to anybody. They're just nice people. They are. And my biggest clientele, believe it or not, is West Roxbury.
Oh, really?
West Roxbury, yeah.
Right, well, you're right close by.
Yeah, and then coming down from Westwood, and naturally we have a Dedham following,
Yep.
you know, but huge West Roxbury clientele, yeah.
Now, not only have you expanded the restaurant and the menu, but you're also offering breakfast now.
We do, and you know, when we first started, we were open at 11 o'clock, and everyone kept saying, you got to open early, you got to open earlier, but it was tough because I was stretched with my health,
Right.
and I was limited. So finally, I got a hold of a good little cook. His name is Patrick. He's in the kitchen. He's a breakfast guy, and he agreed. Yeah, okay, I can do it. You know, so he comes in at 7 o'clock, and we opened up at 8 o'clock on Saturdays and Sundays. And you know, we would do like maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 people from 8 in the morning to 5 at night, and it just keeps every week it's better
getting
and better
bigger,
and
yeah.
better. And last week we met our goal on what I figured we could do.
Yes.
And now I'm saying, you know what, I got a new goal because we did that so easy.
Yeah.
We can even do more.
Right.
You know. But one of the things that I think in the restaurant business, one of the key things to be successful is having good food at affordable prices.
Exactly.
You know, and no one leaves here hungry.
Right.
No one leaves here hungry. They all may take doggy bags, but no one leaves hungry.
Right. Well, I think that's why your breakfast is growing. I think there's a need in this area for great breakfast
Yeah.
places. And I mean, this place is so warm and inviting. And I really think, I mean, I know myself, people come for you too.
Yeah.
They enjoy, like, you when you're in the restaurant, you come by and say hello to them. Because I'm
Yeah.
sure, like, not only do you see your old friends and repeat customers, but you also meet new friends as well.
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there isn't a day or a week that goes by that I don't meet someone new.
Yep.
You know, and we hit it off because, you know, one thing about Boston or New England, having lived in Florida for many years, is that if you don't know someone, you're going to know someone who knows someone who knows someone.
Yeah, it's small.
And us, and that we find that. We
Right.
start talking, and believe it or not, almost every conversation ends with, what a small world this is. Yeah.
Yeah, we're all connected in
We are.
interesting ways.
We are.
Yeah.
We really are.
Definitely. Well, Vinny, thanks for
Yeah.
letting me interview you. Every time I speak to you, I learn something new about you and the restaurant and the menu, and I can't wait to dive into this.
Oh, I'm sure you're
And I'm
gonna
sure
enjoy it.
Joe wants to
Yeah.
take the majority of it. Sorry, Joseph.
Okay. That works.
Yeah. So everyone, thanks for watching. My name is Carol O'Connor, and this has been the restaurant interview of the Chef's Table Series Cooking Show.
We had a saying as you went down the stairs, if you didn't learn anything today, you wasted the day. Well, cooking is the same thing. And now if we need any more juice, we're going to use the water from the pasta after we got the pasta because
Right.
it's starch in it.
And it'll help thicken your
It's going to help
sauce.
us thicken my sauce, right? That's why they call you Mr. Needy. When you need something, I'm there for you, Joe.
Thank you very
I'm
much.
there for you. I'll tell you one thing. This pan's about 15, 20 pounds.